And during that time, everything lived together, including the dinosaurs. Dinosaurs lived with man. They were just big friendly lizards in the Garden of Eden. See, the unusual thing about lizards, if you've had your biology classes, you know that lizards and many reptiles never stop growing. They never stop. When I moved into my house across the street from Pensacola Christian High School 2 years ago, I was going around meeting all my neighbors, knocking on doors, finding out who the neighbors were, and like everybody ought to do in the neighborhood, be friendly, you know. And I knocked on this house 6 doors down from my house, and the guy said, "Come on in." Well, I walked in, and there, crawling around loose on his kitchen floor right in front of me, was a 5-foot-long iguana. This guy raises iguanas for pet stores, 5 foot long. I stopped, held perfectly still. I said, "Does it bite?" He said, "No, we just fed it." I said, "How big's that thing going to get?" He said, "It's an iguana, man. They never stop growing." He said, "I've raised them 10 feet long before." Lizards never stop growing. So, the creationist would say, dinosaurs lived in the pre-flood era for about 1,600 years. They were just simply giant lizards. The Bible teaches, and of course it's not scientifically provable because it's gone now, the Bible teaches that the original earth, when God first made it, had a canopy of water above the atmosphere. The air that we're breathing today has about 6 layers to it: troposphere, mesosphere, thermosphere, exosphere, ionosphere. There used to be a 7th layer, according to Scripture. The 7th layer was a layer of water above the atmosphere. Made some kind of cloud cover. Venus has a dense cloud cover. Jupiter has a dense cloud cover. The Earth apparently had a dense, I don't know about dense, but had some kind of water above the atmosphere, which would do several things. It would filter out the harmful effects of the sun. Most of the aging process is caused by the sun, especially ultraviolet light and X-rays that are destroying your body, and your body has to constantly battle against those damaging effects of the sunlight. The original creation did not have that. According to Scripture, they were protected by a canopy of water, which many creationists think would have increased air pressure. It's interesting, some of the articles out now about what happened to the dinosaurs. International Falls, Minnesota, the Daily Journal. New theory: lack of oxygen killed the dinosaurs, from the Boston Associated Press. Studies of dinosaurs indicate they had very small lungs compared to their body size. Also, they had very small nostrils. The nostrils of a brachiosaurus were about the same size as those in a horse. So how's a critter that big, 150 feet now is the world's record, how's he going to get enough oxygen to survive? Well, in today's atmosphere, a 150-foot dinosaur could not survive. He couldn't get enough oxygen to maintain body metabolism. But if the pre-flood scenario is correct, that before the flood there was a canopy of water, this would increase air pressure, meaning every time you take a breath, you get twice the oxygen. Not only that, the pre-flood world apparently had richer oxygen to begin with. They drill into the ancient samples of amber and find air bubbles in there. Trapped amber, or amber that traps air bubbles. When you analyze the air bubbles, this is from Time Magazine, 1987, page 82. Also Science Magazine, 1987, November, page 890, tells about the sampling of the air found in amber. It indicates 50% more oxygen than we had today. So instead of 20% oxygen, they had 30% oxygen. Well, these are a couple of scientific facts that really would fit fine with the creationist worldview. The original Earth had a little richer oxygen and higher pressure. The strange thing about high pressure gases is when you take a breath, you get twice the oxygen per lungful, and your healing process is much faster. Many major hospitals today are putting in what's called hyperbaric chambers. Little Jessica McClure, the girl in Texas that fell down in the well, remember that in 1987? Her foot was twisted around and stuck in her face as she was down inside of a 12-inch pipe for over 2 days, 58.5 hours. When they got her out, her foot was completely black and part of her leg was black from lack of circulation. They were going to cut her foot off, but one of the doctors suggested that they try her in a hyperbaric chamber. They put Jessica in a big steel chamber, pumped it up full of pure oxygen, and put it up to 30 pounds per square inch. Today you're breathing about 14.7 pounds per square inch atmospheric pressure. At 30 pounds per square inch, Jessica's foot began to turn pink within a few hours. It forced oxygen into the tissue. And they finally had to cut off the tip of her little toe. That's the only thing that wouldn't respond. She would have lost her whole foot. And many major hospitals are getting these hyperbaric chambers because they are learning that high pressure oxygen causes the healing process to go many times faster than normal.